Hey vinyl community, hey new wavers, Shad with the Vinyl New Wave channel here. Coming to you on this Friday the 22nd of May 2020, World Goth Day. And what better theme to have today than 15 essential goth rock records. Goth rock, also known as dark wave. This is by no means a definitive list. There's a lot of stuff that I either don't have or is on CD buried in the basement. But I figured I'd pick out 15 of my favorite goth rock records and show them to you. Now, these aren't in any particular order. I'm not ranking things. I don't believe in ranking things necessarily. I just want to show off my records, right? So let's start off. You'll see that some of them will be kind of grouped together for specific reasons, but other than that, yeah, no particular order. So let's start off first with a record from The Damned. The Damned is a great punk / goth rock band, and this is the 12-inch single for Grimly Fiendish. Really great song, kind of gets on that dark side. And you can see this is a limited edition numbered release. And it comes on this really cool white vinyl. So you can see that there. White vinyl 12-inch of The Damned, Grimly Fiendish. Next up, this band that everybody knows and loves. It's Depeche Mode. And this is Black Celebration. Definitely the darkest of all the Depeche Mode albums. They've got some more recent dark stuff too, but this is definitely the darkest. Black Celebration. This is a German repress from kind of the late 80s or early 90s. You can see it's got this kind of emboss. The cover's embossed. All the symbols here are embossed. And it comes on this gray vinyl. I've got several other Depeche Mode albums that are on this same gray vinyl that are from this same reissue period. But man, what could be more goth than saying death is everywhere, there are flies on the windscreen? You know, that's just some great dark lyrics there. All right. Next up is, I'm going to shuffle things here a little bit. Band called The Creatures. This is their Feast album. It's a great album. It's been actually quite a while since I listened to it. I'm going to make sure I get it in today. This is a UK pressing of the Feast album. And if these two people look familiar to you, it is because they are from the next band we're going to feature out. That is Susie Sue, and that is Budgie from Susie and the Banshees. So this album is the Juju album, which is from Susie and the Banshees. Some great tunes like Spellbound and Halloween, Voodoo Dolly. Just a lot of great tunes on here that are really goth and dark. So Juju by Susie and the Banshees. Next up, no goth playlist would be complete without The Cure. And I know I showed all of my Cure records, or most of my all of my Cure records in a video not too long ago, and I did show this one. This is Happily Ever After, which is a combination of the 17 Seconds album and the Faith album for the US market. So a lot of great songs on here, like Forest and 17 Seconds and Play for Today, and then also the Faith stuff like Faith and yeah, The Cure. Great goth band. Now, what happens if you combine Susie and the Banshees and The Cure? Well, you get the glove. This is a collaboration, and it was done between Susie Sue and Robert Smith and Steve Severin, who is in the Banshees. The album is called Blue Sunshine, and really great album. This one was from Record Store Day a number of years ago, like 2015 it looks like, maybe. And it's a limited edition numbered. Really great reissue. The original is kind of hard to find. And it came on this really cool blue vinyl. So there's the, that label, and then that. Really great album. I haven't listened to that one in quite a while. I should probably listen to that one today as well. Now, next up we move on to who I like to call the godfathers of rock, and that is the band Bauhaus. Now, I don't have their debut album In the Flat Field on vinyl. I only have it actually digitally. But I do have this one, which is Press Eject and Give Me the Tape, which is a live recording of most of their big hits. They've got Bela Lugosi on here. Bela Lugosi's Dead, In the Flat Field, Kick in the Eye, Hollow Hills, Stigmata Martyr. Just a lot of really great tunes on this album. Peter Murphy really gives it his all. This is I think it was a Record Store Day release. It was released to celebrate 40 years of Bauhaus, which was a couple years ago, and it comes on this really cool white vinyl. Really great re-release there. Now, Bauhaus broke up at one point and parted ways, and several members of the band formed this band, which is Tones on Tail. This is the 12-inch single for Christian Says, and the B-side or double A-side, I believe, is called Twist. Really great record. Tones on Tail they only released one album. This one comes on this really cool blue vinyl. So Tones on Tail on that Beggar's Banquet label. Now that Tones on Tail album was supposed to come out on Record Store Day as a reissue. Not sure how that's going to fit into these Record Store Day drops. They haven't announced that yet, like which records are coming out on which day. I really hope I'm able to get one because I don't have that album. Again, I only have that digitally, and it's even hard to find on CD. So hopefully I can track down a copy of that when it finally does find its way out to the world. And then after Tones on Tail split, moved on, the remaining three members of Bauhaus formed Love and Rockets. Daniel Ash, Kevin Haskins, and David J. They formed Love and Rockets. This is their album Express. It features the song The Kundalini Express, Ball of Confusion, and All in My Mind. Those are the three big songs off of that album. This is a really great album. Kind of tough to choose favorite Love and Rockets song because they're all really good. So great goth record there. And that other 25% of Bauhaus, the fourth member that did not go into Love and Rockets, was Peter Murphy. And his biggest hit probably is Cuts You Up. This is the 12-inch single for that song. Great song. It is off of the Deep album, which I don't have on vinyl, but I do have on CD. And this is kind of a cool CD. It's It's got this pop-up case that's got Peter Murphy and his arms up behind him. Really cool CD. This pop-up cover version actually there were two different versions of it. One had the original 10-track listing, and this version has an 11-track listing. The 11th song is version 2 of A Strange Kind of Love, which is the B-side to Cuts You Up. So that one's kind of rare. It's kind of cool to have. I love that one. All right, next up, another really great dark band is the Sisters of Mercy. This is their Greatest Hits Volume 1. Don't let that fool you. There is not a Volume 2, just Volume 1. This one has all their great songs like More, Detonation Boulevard, and Temple of Love, and of course their huge hit, This Corrosion. Great record. If you're looking for a good intro to Sisters of Mercy, you can't go wrong with that one. And next up is the band The Cult, goth rock at its hardest. This is the 12-inch single for She Sells Sanctuary. Love this song. This is off the album Love. I don't actually have any Cult albums on vinyl. Well, that's not true. I have Sonic Temple. I lied. I have the reissue of Sonic Temple, but I don't have Love on vinyl, and I would say Love is probably either Love or Sonic Temple, or both are great intros to The Cult, as well as their best of album, if you can find that one. But yeah, The Cult is just heavy, hard rock. I love it. At my house, we have a rule that if we're driving in the car and The Cult comes on the radio, the volume goes all the way up. It has to be done. Next up is Ministry. Ministry kind of went through 3 phases. They went through this early kind of synth pop phase that was kind of dark but not super dark, and then they went more industrial, electronic industrial, and then finally they went into like full-on industrial thrash kind of a sound. This album is from their kind of a best of 12-inch remixes album from that industrial electronic phase. Features songs like Every Day is Halloween, The Nature of Love, All Day, and Cold Life. This originally was only available on CD and cassette back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was never released on vinyl. And Cleopatra Records a few years ago did a re-release of it on vinyl, and I ordered like one of the last 3 or 4 off of their website before they sold out. And it comes on this really cool clear vinyl. Really love that song. Love this record. Really takes me back to my DJing days. A lot of those songs. Next up is the Head Like a Hole 12-inch from 9 Inch Nails. This is off of 9 Inch Nails' first album. It was kind of like Ministry. It was more of like an electronic industrial sound before they went, full on, thrash for a while. But this is just an amazing, amazing album. It's one of my favorite albums. It's one of my top 10 albums. The album that this comes off of, Pretty Hate Machine. But I don't have that one on vinyl. I keep meaning to buy it, but then I forget. And I can never figure out which one is supposed to be the best pressing of it. There's a lot of debate about that. But Head Like a Hole. This is the 12-inch single for it. Really great tune. And finally, this is a more recent pickup. This is from Record Store Day last year, I think. It's the CRO Original Soundtrack. I've shown this one before. back when I did my Record Store Day video last year. But this movie kind of encapsulated goth, right? I mean, this was a goth movie. And the soundtrack just reflects that. It's got The Cure, it's got Machines of Loving Grace, it's got Nine Inch Nails. Nine Inch Nails is doing a cover of a Joy Division song, which I know is missing from my list. Rage Against the Machine, and that gets into, you know, some of the speed metal like Pantera and Helmet and Rollins Band, and some Thrill Kill Cult, some Jesus and Mary Chain. There's just tons of really great dark goth rock music on this album, and so I had to pick it. And of course, I mean, if you haven't seen it, it comes on this it's a 2 LP set, 3 sides, and then the 4th side is this really cool etching, which I hope you can see. But yeah, that's the CRO Original Soundtrack. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. 15 essential goth rock records. If you liked any of these records, or you like the theme, please hit that thumbs up button, and please subscribe if you aren't already. If you want to see more videos like this, and hit the little bell next to it so you get alerted every time I upload a video so you can watch it. Follow me on Instagram. I'm posting on Instagram almost every day, at least every day during the week. And, you know, I just post pictures of what I'm listening to every day. So if you want to see what I'm listening to, follow me on Instagram. I also have a Facebook page, which is Vinyl New Wave, and you can like or follow that page, and you'll see all my Instagram posts. They cross-post over. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, remember, you spin me round like a record, baby.